Hello, and welcome to Iacon Underground Radio for the week of May the 10th, 2019. I'm Jen.
And I'm David.
So this week, we have some assorted bits of news. Also, it is the Shizuoka, is that even vaguely correct?
Shizuoka.
Shizuoka.
Yeah.
Hobby show in Japan this weekend. So there's a bunch of new toys that we got to see pictures of. Also, less like literally one of the ones that there were big featured pictures of, like I found in a store already. So that's a little less exciting.
What?
But
one of the Constructicons or something?
No, Galaxy Force Prime.
Oh, I don't know.
I did see him in a store. I did not buy him because I'm not throwing that kind of money at retail toys right now.
Yeah,
but
I already got the original. I don't need a new version of that. It's neat, but I haven't seen new leaders or Voyagers since the first wave. Get new deluxes, I think.
That's sad.
I'm
actually. I guess we will be discussing also Transformers Ongoing number 4. I guess we can try to keep our frustrated sighs to under half an hour or so for that specifically.
Yeah.
I guess real quick for toy sightings. I have not personally found my Micromasters yet, so that makes me sad.
I don't think I've seen the second wave with things. I have all the first 3 ones. I don't think I've seen more, or if they have shown up, they've disappeared quickly.
Yeah, I do see the second wave of deluxes, Prowl and Ironhide and Chromia.
Yeah.
That group is showing up more regularly, so if you haven't found those yet, you probably will very soon.
Yeah, Chromia's still hanging on
like
pegs
I said,
here. I haven't picked her up yet.
Like I said, I definitely saw the Galaxy Force Prime in person. It was kind of disappointing how he's smaller than the original.
Oh,
which,
yeah, so wait.
I mean, he's not significantly small. He just looks like they took the original and just, like, scaled him down 20%.
Oh, that's weird.
Which is, I mean, because he's a new toy. It's not like he's a re-release.
No, and his wings are shorter, but it's kind of underwhelming.
I mean, a couple years ago, I sold off huge, just containers and containers of my collection. And that toy, I actually ended up realizing I had 2 of. So I had a lot of contact with that toy. So I still have that memory, that tactile memory very at the front of my mind. And so seeing this, like, slightly scaled down version, it's a little uncanny. But yeah, that is something that is out. Also something, to get into our news, something that is real. Apparently that Ghostbusters Prime is actually going to be a real thing.
Yeah,
and he's
cool. It looks kind of bleh, except for one thing. Roller is now the trap.
Yes, he's a little trap. He's going to be, looks like a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive this summer. The fan, Digibash, I guess, that one of the websites was posting, as a placeholder, was a lot more beige than this actually is. This is not beige. Yeah, because it was
going off the costumes. This is going off the little ghosty logo more with just dark boots.
Yeah, it's, he's white with a red stripe, so it's really kind of a reverse of his normal colors. Darker boots, he comes with a little Slimer, possibly the same one that comes with Ectotron, but it is, like, not translucent. The packaging is shaped like a proton pack, where his matrix should be. He's listed as, where his plate says Ecto 35, which is a nod to the fact that this is the 35th birthday of both of those franchises.
Oh yeah, that was that yesterday or today that we're recording? I think it was.
I think it was like yesterday, but yeah, so that is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the thing that is going to exist, and people will be probably lining up to buy at San Diego Comic-Con. No word if it's gonna be at, like, the New York Comic-Con, because sometimes those, Hasbro will bring the same bunch of stuff to both of those.
Leftovers.
But yeah, that's a thing that will exist that someone totally just swiped from a factory in China. Oops.
Yeah.
But yeah, the packaging says that. Speaking of China, so apparently they're getting their own animated series that's based on a combination of Transformers and Chinese mythology.
Which sounds neat, but what?
It's maybe people who have been very closely watching the Chinese market, I get the impression that, this is something that's been rumored for a little while. So I suppose some people were aware of it previously.
We didn't notice.
But it is really like, okay.
There's just like one still image, which is that even from this? I don't know. It's interesting. Well, the fact that it's just for the Chinese market and may not ever come anywhere else is kind of odd. I mean, that's...
Well, they're apparently...
I guess it
was intended that way. Yeah, well, no one... Well, Kiss Players was Japanese.
Well, yeah, no, well, that's the thing. There was like a one market thing that this kind of is again. Right. Other than, well, like manga. Well, that is manga. Manga's different, but having a whole cartoon seems odd that it's not for everyone.
Yeah, the Chinese, they are saying that apparently it's looking like it may be good enough that some people may, decide to translate it. I don't know if Omni Productions is still around.
Oh, if it is, that's what I would want.
But, the Chinese market is really weird how they get stuff that just, like, they've had their own games, and I'm sure part of it is because, the government does have their very strict standards for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's different rules and things, and it's a big enough market that you can get away with it, but it's just...
You, David, you should look into the drama around World of Warcraft in China, because it's very interesting.
All I know is that zombies don't have exposed bones, which I'd kind of prefer.
Yeah, lots of Forsaken RPers. As someone who used to run an all-Forsaken RP guild, a lot of Forsaken RPers also would prefer to maybe, have sleeves that are...
Yeah. Can we have an option, please? Just click on
it. But yeah, they had to do a lot of stuff to get around, particular Chinese cultural sensibilities, but cultural sensibilities that had taken the form of censorship, because, it's one thing, in America, skeletons are intended to be super creepy, but we don't legislate against that. So yeah, it makes sense that their own stuff has a very limited market, but it's interesting. So that's something to maybe keep an eye on. See if they're gonna get their own toys from it, maybe.
Yeah, that's an entirely different market that they could be strange and unusual and have giant weird... Because recently I looked at some Korean toys for, I forget if they were actually for a cartoon or something, but they were freaking massive, neat things. There were two of them that I think were called Ogre and Troll or something for some series. And they combined together, but they look kind of like Trailbreaker and Hoist in coloration.
Yes.
And they combined they're 2 feet tall. It's it would be neat, but I don't need it that damn big.
Yeah.
But that was Korean market, so I don't know if the Chinese market enjoys overly large robot toys as much.
Yeah, I know. Even going back to G1, I know at one point, back in the days when things had not gotten quite so out of hand price-wise, a friend of mine just gave me a Chinese packaged kill bison he had picked up fairly cheap, because it had succumbed to GPS in a different way than my kill bison had.
Oh.
So he gave it to me so I could cannibalize it to, the broken parts very, very, very carefully. And so yeah, you could, for a long time, there were things like Japanese exclusives that you could get in Chinese packaging for a little bit cheaper on the convention market. Actually, it would be hilarious if this was just an extremely Chinese cartoon, but then it just had the Siege toys.
Oh, that would be great.
So, yeah, speaking of Siege toys, there's a big hobby show in Japan. Takara showed up. They brought things. I guess, I know we've seen pictures of the barricade. I guess, well,
did we?
According to the news sites, we've only seen renders of the barricade.
Oh.
So, yeah, barricade, he's Prowl Redeco. He looks like Prowl Redeco. He's an evil cop, so cop. Okay, sorry
as you can see in the current comic, he's in that. He just looks like Prowl in black instead of white. But I want him so bad.
Briefly.
Looks neat.
They showed off the Galaxy Force Prime, which, as I said, has actually started showing up over here. They are huge surprise just out of nowhere here. They're redecoing Starscream as Thundercracker.
I haven't even seen Starscream yet. I don't like that I want all the Tetrajets, but I want all the Tetrajets. Oh, which reminds me, there was a product listing for Red Wing that's been confirmed now.
Okay. So is he gonna be just like a standard toy, or is he a convention exclusive?
That's a good question. Oh, it was listed at a Canadian retailer, Everett Wholesale. So, at least that's the last news. I think it popped up somewhere else, but this is like another confirmation that we're getting it, I guess. Unless they've just...
If only Rob was here
to he explained what the crap
explain to us what an Everett's Wholesale is.
Yeah.
Alas. So yeah, that is interesting. Get more of those jets. Maybe they made this mold out of something harder than they made the classic Seeker mold out of, so it won't just fall apart and turn to cheese, because that mold took some abuse. It was starting to show its age. Because
they used it like 16 different times.
Yes.
And everything, and Titanium. Then the same guys again is ridiculous.
They need to make it out of titanium this time. They just need to know going in that if you're going to do a Seeker mold, you need to make the actual physical molds out of, like, the best material you possibly can, because it will be worth the investment.
Yeah.
I just want, and this has come up recently, what with the whole Game of Thrones thing that the internet is very fond of. But there was a picture in one of the IDW comics of Thundercracker with a big old Thundercracker-sized Starbucks cup. Which, the question then is, did Starbucks just, like, expand its offerings to target Cybertronians, or did he just make himself a big Starbucks cup because that's what a writer has?
No, of course, that's what a writer has.
I'm gonna go with the latter, that I think he would absolutely do that. And he would go and, like, try to go sit around and steal their Wi-Fi, except he can't fit inside. So he's just on the patio in front of the cafe.
Someone needs to make a custom cup thingy, like, you plug it into his hand and you see most of the cup, and it, like, has fingers wrapping around the cup that it adds on.
Yeah, or you could just make it so that you can make it so that it's, like, narrow in the middle, and then, like, part of it comes off, so you peg it through his hand and then plug the bottom part on. And
that'll kind of work.
The point is, he needs a Starbucks cup.
I want
to be a writer.
I want Tetrajets. I've wanted Tetrajets for 35 years.
The point is, I have now talked myself into this Thundercracker.
Yeah, there you go.
He can be my writer buddy. So there's some movie stuff. I had completely forgotten that at one point Drift turns into a helicopter, so I guess this is here to remind me.
He may only do it in one scene inside a building, I think.
Which is the worst time to turn into a helicopter, yes.
Yeah, it's like, Don't care. We're getting a car version of Dropkick. Yay. Whatever.
It was in Age of Extinction, and I don't hate myself enough to watch Age of Extinction again.
Not really, unless we're fortunate.
And that's saying a lot, because I hate myself a lot, but not enough to watch Age of Extinction.
But yeah, we got more pictures of more Constructicons.
I'm a little excited about car Dropkicks. He does look neat. He looks more like the movie model than the helicopter one did. Probably because he has car parts. And then, there is a Masterpiece movie Megatron, there's Constructicons. It's all definitely worth seeking out pictures of if you care about movie-based toys.
Oh! And of course, Masterpiece Black Arachnia! With a giant CGI-looking web behind her, and she's gonna be expensive, but probably not as expensive as Megatron was. Beast Megatron.
Yep. Last but absolutely not least, I am very tempted. I haven't gotten, honestly, I think I've mentioned before, my single Masterpiece toy is the G2 Sideswipe, which I had to get because he's got the head, he's got the face. Yeah, but this, see also our Stasis Pod podcast for my complicated feelings about Black Arachnia.
Yes, go to the archives.
She's a great character. Her model could have stood to have had less of the pointy chromy tits that we see on this toy, but it does do a very good job of giving it just that little bit enough pointiness so that when the light hits it right, as it absolutely does in these pictures, you can tell that there's pointiness. But yeah, honestly, I bought the original Black Arachnia toy when it came out, and it was just a redeco of Tarantulas, and that was before she was even on the show, so this is fairly exciting to get one that actually looks like the show, because, we've had some in between, but, animated one was pretty good, not exactly, but,
that was really good.
It's also definitely a lot cheaper. Inspired by the show model. Yeah.
It's not going to be like $150.
And I'm pretty certain she did not go in any of those containers of toys getting hauled down to eBay or the vintage toy shop. I'm pretty sure she made it into the keep box. But yeah, I gotta say I'm definitely a little tempted by this. It's a very nice toy of a character who I think managed to rise above what the character modelers had in mind for her.
Yeah.
It's been pointed out on Twitter that maybe Silverbolt can come with the kissy face. Except as we know from Stasis Pod, they tended to pan away from the actual kissing, probably because they also didn't know how that would work.
Yeah, it's neat, but I managed to resist Beast Wars Megatron. I think I could resist this. If they work their way down to Waspinator, then I might need a Waspinator.
Well, I suspect she's not going to be like $200 or however much. Actually, that's probably conservative. Masterpiece Megatron is very expensive.
Yeah, I think he's like $300 or something. I saw a rumor that her price is going to be like, was it? How was the conversion rate at the work?
She comes with a stand.
$150, however it was.
She comes with a stand, but she's also small. She's they're for once in their lives, Transformers are actually doing some scale.
Yeah,
and so she's actually pretty small. So you said like 150?
I think.
That sounds high. How much were Dinobot and Cheetor?
I don't remember. I don't remember. Expensive is correct. Because they're not that much bigger than she is.
Yeah.
Dinobot, I think, was a lot.
Dinobot's tall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would expect her to be in line with about how much Cheetor was. Are you looking it up?
Yes, I'm looking it up. Masterpiece Dinobot, according to one website, is $280.
That's so expensive.
Yes, I know. That's why these would be really nice to have, but I could have so many other toys instead. Oh, what the crap? Cheetor is only $80. He must be on sale.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was that Cheetor being significantly smaller was more in the like $100 to, $75 to $100 range.
Then why the hell is Dinobot so freaking expensive?
He's tall.
I know, but like, how much bigger than Cheetor? What is he? Oh, I guess he's twice the size of Cheetor's, though. That's like 8 times as much material, so...
I was gonna say, I'm sure you can find a cast picture of them standing near each other, and yes, it's easy to forget because raptors are generally not portrayed as being huge, and even then they're generally portrayed as being bigger than they actually were.
Yeah.
But
they should only be the size of a cheetah.
Yeah, he was really tall. So yeah, I think she's maybe gonna be something worth picking. She may be my first non-G2 sideswipe masterpiece toy. And then she can go up on the out of reach of my nephew's shelf until they are significantly older.
I guess they're just
the resurrection of monstrous toys.
Exponentially more painful because Optimus Primal was like only 120. That's Dinobot is weird.
He was also pretty. Anyway, Dinobot is popular. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. Well, here
so,
it is. I don't know about Japan.
Meanwhile, we have a comic.
Yes, oh yeah. Oh, we're finally there. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're out of news that we can stall by talking about.
Welcome back to our episode already in progress. This is being pasted in because we lost the original recording, but hopefully it records fine now. And yeah, we're at the comic now. It's still not good. It's
definitely a comic. No.
Yeah.
It continues to be technically a comic book that does contain it contains Transformers. I'm a little hesitant to call it a story about Transformers. I feel like that's a little generous.
Maybe we should do like a compliment sandwich. Start with something good, and then go to the bad, and then if we're lucky, have something good at the end to say about it. First good thing, Sarah Petrie de Rocher is back for the first 6 pages, so they at least look good. Not a lot happened, other than, Cyclonus, it's like, hey, a character I care about in this comic, not just from the concept of caring about Cyclonus, but he's got some shit going on, talking to ghosts, and that was interesting. It was something.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the comic just goes on and on. And
there's some Andrew Griffith art at the end that's pretty good, not much happening.
It kind of felt like he was off. I don't know why.
Well, maybe he was trying to... It's like how Manny Gallen's art in G2 was like trying to be like Derek Yaniger's because it was trying to fit the tone of the comic, but it was really just kind of a mess. But when he was doing like Sonic the Hedgehog, his art was perfectly good. So maybe it's that kind of thing where he was trying to fit with the rest of the comic, so it wasn't as big a jolt. Yeah, this issue did have 2 things. It had 2 things that I like. It had ghosts and it had lesbians. Even though it's basically just reassuring us that, yes, RC is still a lesbian.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cyclonus is like, he's being a angry survivalist hobo. Which I can absolutely sympathize with. And then there are all these ghosts that he can see, but it's not clear whether they're literal or metaphorical ghosts.
Either one's interesting. It's like I'm more interested in 4 ghostly gray shadow characters than pretty much anybody else in this comic. It's like
they're all mutilated.
They look horribly destroyed. One of them, it's hard to tell what's wrong with him. Like, others, one's missing an arm, one's just turning to dust as if he's just been snapped. Or she. And one's all melty. It's like, what's their story?
Yeah, so I like that there's ghosts. We don't learn what their story is.
Or the name.
So yeah, I think my thoughts overall at this point, so we're 4 issues in. And I feel like we're basically... See, here's where I get a little bit into the technical side of the whole, like, writing thing. Like, when you sell a story nowadays, if you're trying to write short fiction for publication, or if you're trying to get an agent for a novel, for instance, the thing is, you have to have a hook. You have to have, the story has to get its claws in you right away. In a short story, a lot of times the focus is on even having just the first sentence. If the first sentence does not interest the editor you're sending to or the slush pile reader, they just toss it. Agents, a lot of times they'll ask for like the first 10 pages of story for you to submit, and if that doesn't interest you, if that doesn't interest them, they're not going to be interested. In my own novel that I'm working on, I start off the first chapter. The first chapter is this, like, raising of this village by this guy with a zombie army, and that is the point at which the main character, who will proceed to be undead for the rest of the story, is killed, and that's supposed to be something that makes, you're at Barnes & Noble, you're sitting in one of their cushy chairs, and you pick it up and you read the first few pages, and you decide whether you're gonna buy it or not. I'm reminded of the first Game of Thrones book, which had this prologue, and actually, I was listening.
Well, the prologue was good, but like the first chapter, it ends on a death, which admittedly this comic kind of did in the first issue, but it had a lot of nothing, and then, a character who we haven't met in this comic is dead. Why do we care?
The thing is,
very odd. It should have died. Like,
It ends on a death that's not... See, that's the thing, say the prologue to Game of Thrones, it ends on a death that's interesting, like someone is killed in an interesting way, and it sets up what this story is going to be about. That's sort of what, I was listening to actually a writing podcast called Writing Excuses earlier this week, and they specifically started talking about how sometimes a writer will have a prologue to the story to sort of set up, it's not necessarily part of the proper narrative, but just to set up what the story is going to be about. If, for instance, for some reason you're like starting the story on some, character at home before everything goes terrible, it helps to set up what the story is actually going to be about by having this like side thing that happens. But yeah, this doesn't, we're 4 issues in, and there's no pitch, there's no hook, there's, like, if I was sitting in a Barnes & Noble reading this as a graphic novel, I would absolutely have not made it more than a couple pages in. I mean, if you want somebody to buy your story, you can't have them wait till halfway through the story to make it clear that it's something that's worth buying. And
it something like even going back to like older comics. Go back to Jack Kirby. What he would usually do, he'd have a first page, have some stuff, introduce things, turn the page, 2-page splash page of shit happening.
Yes.
And then you have the rest of the comics. So you at least visually can grab them. And do some crazy shit.
I would be very curious to see what the pitch for this comic looked like.
Yeah, because like even 4 issues, we're a third of the way through what's going to be a 12-issue trade that's coming out all at once. And I'm not even sure what like the theme of this is other than sightseeing slowly. Like,
yeah.
What is the driving story in this?
If the only thing your story is about is the plot, then you need to try harder.
What is the plot? Like, there's a death.
Yeah.
Somebody might be investigating it. That's not at all the forefront of the story. The forefront of the story is kind of Bumblebee showing this new Transformer what Cybertron's like. And even we're getting a clip show version of that tour because we missed most of it. So that's not the interesting part. Is the interesting part supposed to be Optimus and Megatron, who've only had a few pages in each issue, which tend to be the most boring part, because it's Optimus and Megatron at their most boring all over again.
Yeah.
It's like this comic is somehow managing to avoid any of the most interesting parts of what might be the story here.
Yes.
If there is
sort
one.
Of beating around the bush here of, if there's an interesting story, they're not telling it. So I feel like if there's one thing this writer must be really good at writing, it's pitches, because I would like to know what he said to make the editors think that he needed to deserve to write this. Because it's not good. It's adequate. It's not like Dreamwave G1 terrible, which was hilariously bad.
At best I could imagine, okay, this might have been like a story that was ruminating in their head of something to do with their own characters, and now they're just trying to glue Transformers on, and they don't fit.
Mm-hmm. That's possible.
And somehow whatever the original story was got pushed out by making it Transformers? 'Cause I don't understand why this exists. Like, what is the point, really, other than to sell toys, but it's not even doing a good job of to sell toys.
Yeah. Like, seriously, I haven't bought that Chromia yet, and there were 3 of her at Walmart the other night.
I know.
Just like...
Exactly the same. I haven't got it because I got the last Chromia. I don't need a new one. I already have the Cyclonus. I can't buy a Rubble or a Geomotus. I have Prime and Megatron because they look like the original G1 cartoon versions, not because they have anything to do with this comic. Yeah, so things like, it's like, what is even happening in this comic?
Yeah, there's nothing to keep us going except that, we just happen to already care a lot about Transformers.
Well, and we're doing a podcast about it. I mean, that's a main excuse to keep going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd probably give up now, because have we seen previews of any art or issue? I mean, the cover art's still good.
Mm-hmm.
Still getting good artists to do that.
I might still be hate reading it if I wasn't if I didn't have people who enjoyed hearing me sigh in frustration at this comic. But yeah, it's just, we're 4 issues in. We should have killed Mommy by now.
Done something, saved the cat, anything.
Yeah.
Like, we have a dead body, but the story seems to be uninterested in solving the murder mystery.
Yes.
It's doing its darndest to avoid covering anything of that other than 6 pages in this issue, maybe.
I mean,
of talking to one guy.
I feel like it says a lot, just the panel sizes that we're working with. And I realize that, I go to James Roberts all the time and, mention him as an example of pretty good Transformers storytelling. And he just had ridiculous numbers of word balloons all over the place everywhere. But, there are a lot
also,
of just
didn't he have a lot of notes about... Didn't you have a lot of notes about describing, what's in the scene?
Yes.
A lot of these panels just seem so blank, and I'm not sure I can blame the artist for that. It's if they're not told what to draw, there's nothing to draw.
Well, that's what I mean. It's just the amount of content, the amount of actual story. Now I feel like I may have to start reading. I was actually recently started rereading Through the Sandman. And Kelly Sue DeConnick's foreword to The Doll's House had a good bit about comic book storytelling and basically how every panel needed to be serving a purpose and moving things along either character-wise or story-wise. And none of that is happening here.
Yeah, no, it's Well, with a lot of comic book art, I think, like, okay, these panels are important to the story, and these other panels are bridging gaps, because, like, not every panel is going to be, like, widescreen across the entire thing. You gotta have smaller things, transitions, you have reaction shots.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, I'm not sure, like, and or at least I think, like, you should have, like, one panel that's, like, the key panel on the page, usually near the bottom. Maybe not the last panel, but it's something, the most important part, the focal point, the biggest. The time you put most detail in, I'm not sure, other than the Cyclonus page where you see the ghosts at the bottom on the last panel.
Yeah, that was good.
Any other page in this, I can't, like, identify, like, what's the focal point? Like, what's the key point of this page?
Right.
It just happened.
Yeah, it's not the basic storytelling. Like, if someone had, like, submitted this actual story as the story instead of just the pitch, I don't think it ever would have been picked up. And also, I had completely forgotten about this, until actually it was, our friend Hooks, from Old School Transformers fandom, who pointed out that there had actually been a different artist who was connected to this for a lot of the promotional stuff. His name was Ron Joseph. He had, Hooks described him as very Alan Davis-esque, which seems, pretty reasonable. He posted some sample art, something that appears to be Rom fighting the Herculoids.
Which looked awesome.
But
there were some other things, but that was the one that stood out because it was like, it was action, it was monsters, it was the robot dude.
Yeah, but then that also he just seems to have disappeared from any mention of this comic. And it really kind of makes me wonder if he thought he was gonna be getting in on some, like, James Roberts or at least John Barber quality scripts, and this was not as good as he was expecting, and so he was like, I'm gonna go see other people now.
I mean, I don't pay attention to as much, like, comic book news and stuff as I used to, because there's just too much to read and I have backlog. Mm-hmm. But, like, in normal solicitations, you have, like, the writer, and then if you have an artist and it's not, like, just TBD, to be decided, like, that's the artist you're gonna get for at least the first 2 or 3 issues. Like, Frank Cho, you're gonna get him for 3 issues. They're gonna be really awesome. Yeah. But then he's gonna be gone because there's a lot of artists who can't keep up the schedule of, like, a weekly comic.
Again, I mentioned
a monthly comic.
Derek Yaniger earlier.
But this is double shipping, so that's an extra problem, which means you need fill-in artists. But the fact that the announced artist hasn't drawn any of the 4 issues so far and has just vanished, that's peculiar.
Yeah, he did, like, an incentive cover. But
yeah, like that. Like, if he'd just done the first issue and then vanished, like, okay, that's scheduling problems thing. I couldn't keep up with the 2 issues a month, whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, complete vanishing before the comic even comes out.
Yeah.
Something squirrely there.
And I think it probably was just that the script was not up to the quality of what he thought he was signing on to. And,
yeah, like, that would there's no action.
Yeah, like, nothing actually is occurring in much of any of this. And it's not
the
great.
Most action in the first issue is Windblade shooting at fucking monkeys. Mm-hmm. For no fucking reason, because, like, they're aliens visiting the planet. Why are you shooting at them? Why does she even have guns? I mean, This is a peacetime. This is before war. Why is she even armed? Is she a cop?
Yeah.
Or whatever their security forces are called. Is she? I'm not even sure.
Yeah, it hasn't been real clear. So, yeah, I mean, it's not unheard of for an artist to, maybe wander off after the first couple issues because either their workload or maybe they found something else they needed to go do.
Or like you find out, like, oh, they can't draw, they broke their arm or something, some family, like, something's usually announced. I mean, unless we missed it, that he's just poof into smoke and ran away like the Roadrunner. to get far, far away.
So yeah, and it does kind of make one wonder if it's because of the script quality was just not what he was hoping for. So yeah, we're 4 issues in, and I, have not been pleasantly surprised yet. It's still just sort of very bland. It feels like kind of a placeholder. It's not even Dreamwave G1 levels of hilariously bad. It's just sort of here. And I guess next week we will probably be back for issue 5, and maybe something will change, but maybe not.
Probably not. I mean, unless it switches to a completely different writer, I can't see any surprise happening.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't had the 3rd episode twist, like, oh no, mommy's dead, or whatever the fuck from anime.
Yes.
Stories. Like, the storytelling, like, what storytelling elements are going on here?
Like maybe
it's just so unfamiliar. It's so dry and slow.
Like, maybe if again, back to my talk about novels and prologues, maybe if the first few pages of issue 1 had something that was more like what the story that was pitched is supposed to be. If that had been like
a flash forward in medias res, goddammit.
Or maybe it would show us how Brainstorm was murdered. Like, even in, maybe a POV where we couldn't necessarily see what it was, so there was still this mystery. Though honestly, even, though that just sort of reminds me of, these British, mystery shows my parents watch, where they do often show, the murder, but in a fashion that you can't actually see who did it, so that it continues to be a mystery. Yeah, something like that, to just sort of say, this is what this story is going to be like, this is what the story is going to be about, but stick with me till I get there. And we just didn't have, I feel like Game of Thrones is a very good example of that, because that prologue is about, the White Walkers, so it's this is what it's gonna be like, this is what it's gonna be about, but it's gonna take us a little time to get there, so just hold on. Just stay with us.
Yeah, in many ways, Game of Thrones is a bad example of many things, but it does start really good.
Yes, it does start very well. So, yeah, anything else special to add about this issue? Because I think I've sighed in frustration as much as I can.
Talked overly long. We have another one next week that maybe we'll get around to doing if we feel like it.
There's issue 5. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's continuing to come out at a rapid pace, which I'm sort of curious why. I don't know, maybe it's because they only have the one Transformer book coming out, so they feel like they need to, at least get 2 issues out of it out a month, so they're at least getting something out of this license.
But why is it just one writer on his own who's doing the double writing, and it's his first time comic, or maybe second, I don't know if he wrote anything else, but
I think
so
it's his
odd.
First comic. I think previously he had only done novels.
Then that's such a weird choice.
If he's done novels, he should know what you have to do to sell a story to an agent. I don't know.
It's he's not only is he breaking the conventions of comic book writing, he's breaking the conventions of basic writing.
Yeah, just basic storytelling. This is just failing on a lot of levels of basic storytelling, and, the biggest one is just to be interesting, and it's not being interesting. There's no real, you don't care enough about anything for it to have any suspense. So that's where we are, the end of issue 4, I feel like I tend to have a good instinct for things when they're bad, and they're probably not going to get better even when other people are like, oh, let's give it a chance. I kind of feel like I can tell when it's not going to be worth giving a chance. But, we'll keep going and see how it pans out, and then maybe after these 12 issues are up, they'll have gotten a budget for some actual writers. Womp womp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe by then James Roberts will have started whatever other comic book
Legion of
project he's
Superheroes.
on.
That's not news. That's just idle joking from me and Rob.
That's what you wish. Like, he's one of the few writers that would make me give a shit about Legion of Superheroes.
He can make you give a shit about anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be hanging in there. So yeah, that has been our news and some comics talk for this episode. We will be back next week, or in a week or so with, issue 5 and whatever news happens to have happened in between. Until then,
there probably won't be any news.
Probably not. Until then, this has been Jen.
And David.
Good night. Alright, I guess I'll pick a date at random. What is it?
Well,
I guess the 10th. The 10th is a fine date. That's Friday.
Yeah, the week of, I thought it was Wednesday, but whatever. I don't care. It'll be out when it's out. The Stasis pod should be done tonight because I think I only have like 5 minutes. I should have gone to sleep, but I just kept editing last night. It was
yay!
Getting into the editing mood sometimes takes a while, but once I'm there, it's sometimes hard to get back out, and my voice is a little red block, so I guess you could still hear me, so whatever.
Yeah, I can hear you. I mean, there is some interference, but it doesn't sound like it did earlier when you were playing Asteroids.
Well, it's weird, because it's got like the little orange or green or red or whatever the crap, but it's red now, but it's working, so I don't know what the crap.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Right, ready to go? I made some notes, so I know what order I'm going to discuss things in.
Okay, I should get scroll up so I can see that. And Rob might pop in at some point if he feels like it.
Oh, I should re-click those links, because I was on a different computer when I looked at the news.